I got accosted by the same guy in the bathroom. Dude, I thought I was gonna have to stab a guy. I was in the bathroom. I walked into the bathroom, scary bathroom in the diner over there, the movie theater. It's a fancy place, but not in the bathroom. I walked in there and I'm taking a wee, and I just hear, "What are you doing in here?" And I didn't say anything because I was thinking, like, I'm nervous about the show. Maybe there's no one there. And then I hear it from closer. "What are you doing in here?" And I learned, Allie was talking about how she's flight. I'm fight. But not with my dick in my hand, dude. I'll give you anything you want. And so I turned around and I'm like, and so I started high. Because you got to match their energy. Someone's fucking with you, you got to start high. You got to match it. And then he leveled up. And I was like, there's only one door. I can't level up. My penis is out. My chain is not low. It's shrunk somehow. I get scared. Did you know that, ladies? When you get real scared, it goes inside your body so you can run faster. There's nothing in the way. There's nothing going like this. The balls still clack together, but you got to get around that. So he's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, and I don't know what possessed me to do this, but I was like, "You look familiar." And he goes, "What?" And I was like, "Where'd you go to school?" And then he said, "An elementary school." And I was like, "Oh, this guy's fully crazy. That's the last time he went to school." But then he goes like, "Thanks for talking to me, man. No one ever talks to me." And then he walks over to I swear to God, this is true. He walks over to the sink and he splashes his face with some water. And he goes, "All right, man, have a good one." And I was like, "Yeah, you too." This is way less serious than I thought it was. I had my knife. It's like this big, but gotta do what you gotta do. So that's that guy. Carl was talking about boobs. I seen some boobs, dude. I seen some boobs, dog. First time I saw boobs.
Welcome, children of the whole fucking world. Welcome to the podcast. This is not a podcast for children, but if you are a child, ask your parents first. I couldn't listen to Eminem for a long while, and then my mom just listened to Eminem, and then I could listen to Eminem. So that's how that works sometimes. What can I say, man? There's water in my ears because I just took a shower, and it's too late to do anything about it. So this is the very latest episode of the award-winning, actually highly sought-after podcast, dude. The Spam and Eggs podcast, where we make love and not war. Unless you need to get that ass spanked up and down for a minute, dude. No more than a minute, though, right? Because it's not constructive. It's destructive and devaluing. And me, no likey. Dr. Seuss. Our itinerary for the episode is first we're going to rock, and then we're going to roll, and then we let it pop, and if there's time, we will go let it go. So, DMX, right? We give credit where it's due. We got Dr. Seuss and DMX so far, which is honestly the chemical makeup of my brain. I don't let a lot of other stuff get in, but Dr. Seuss and DMX, dude, let's go. Let's see. We ask a question before every podcast, and it's an important one, which is, what kind of garbage can I fill your heads with today, dude? Did you know that there will be 39 gubernatorial elections in 2026 with 19 incumbent governors running for re-election? Did you know that? Producers? Anyone? I saw it on the news, so I know that. Now, whatever gubernatorial means, dude, it should not be a word in that sentence. I think we can all agree. Gubernatorial should never be a word on the news because gubernatorial should only be in sentences about dragons and gumdrops and mystical people of extra small stature. Right? Not even just regular little people, like little people with pokey ears and superpowers. And they're all chasing a fucking golden finger ring around a planet that's pretend. Then we can use the word gubernatorial, but it should not be a word in the news, and I think we can agree on that. I saw it on the news in North Carolina. I'll get to North Carolina in a little bit, but I saw this word on the news, and I kept reading Goober National. Now, I can read. The TV was just sort of far away. But it's not Goober National. It's gubernatorial. Here's my brain for 10 minutes when I see the word Goober National. What the fuck is Goober National? I never heard that word before. I bet Goober National is like, it's like international. It's like international, but like all the nations. And then all the nations again. But it's not Goober National. It's gubernatorial, which are both made up sounds, honestly. Gubernatorial makes no sense. Let's break gubernatorial down. There's goober and then nader. What do I have a podcast? Goober is just a goober. Nader is, I guess, a suffix for like one who does quickly, likely with haste, right? We got the Terminator. He was in a rush. and gubernator is just one who goobers quickly. We got Boogerman and the Goobernator. Boogerman, quick. I'll get the boogers, you get the goobers. You do the goobers. That's my brain on the news, dude. This is entirely too loud. That's my brain on the news. 39 gubernatorial elections with 19 incumbent governors. Something for re-election. I'll say this much, dude. It is incumbent upon all Musubi to never use words like incumbent and gubernational and gubernatorial in the same sentence. Because if you're saying the word incumbent, you're trying to be serious. So be serious, dude. You can be serious sometimes. It's fine. Just don't be serious or be silly. Don't try to slide goober, the silliest sound in America, past the American people. Murney is actually the silliest sound in America. My grandmother used to call it. She's still alive, but calls us Murney. But don't try to slide it past the American people, dude, and not have a tickle party before you get back to the news. Let me know if you've heard the word gubernational or goober. I keep saying gubernational. Like I said, I could read. The TV was just far. Gubernatorial. If you've heard that word before, for fuck's sake, let me know. Because I, for one, have not heard that word. And I hope that I've made that clear. But I don't want to hear it again, dude. Not in the news. Not from my musubi. Or I only want to hear words like gubernatorial on the news. Right? Then I'll watch the news. That's how that works. I'll be a news watching ass sensei. Ass sensei. That's me, dude. I'm the ass sensei. Gubernatorial, gerrymandering, purple nurple, and Wiggletron, dude. Those are the words I want to hear in the news if you're going to also say gubernatorial. Dude, Wiggletron. Wiggletron should be the name of like the vice president, honestly. Coming to the stage, the president of the United States and his Wiggletron, you know, Michael Nutsack. Gubernatorial should only mean, I'll get off of this in a second. Gubernatorial should only mean something as stupid as it sounds, right? Gubernatorial should mean when someone spills the wine on grandma's titties and then she uses the N word at a Spanish guy, dude. That's gubernatorial. And either that's what gubernatorial means, or every single time the news says gubernatorial, they need to stop what the fuck they're doing and explain gubernatorial and give synonyms. And I kept seeing gubernational, which was pissing me off. Because I was like, what is gubernational? It's all the nations and then all the nations again. That's the best explanation I could come up with in 10 minutes before I finally looked it up. And I'll get to the definition in a second. But I was sitting at my mom's house in North Carolina and I'm going, you guys get different news. Because I've never heard this word before. I guess you guys are in gubernation. I guess North Carolina is gubernation. My mom's town has 900 people in it. They've got 2 stoplights. So that's gubernation if I've ever heard it. But it got on my nerves, dude, because I was like, dude, Fox News is just going to not say what gubernatorial means or give synonyms. And they give shit to the left for not explaining things like fucking trans and spectrum. So listen, obviously I didn't know what it meant. And I did look it up, but that's not what upset me, that I I know what it meant. I don't know what plenty of stuff means. What upset me was that Fox News knew I didn't know what it means, because how many casual news consumers know what gubernatorial is? And you should know that as Fox News. You should be better at your job, which is to keep people locked in. And you should know that, you know, people are going to look that up, which I didn't do because fuck you, right? Because I know that when you say gubernatorial, a word that no one's ever heard before, you want me to look it up so that the next shit you say, I'm not going to catch. But you're obligated to say it because, you know, you're the news. But the process there is, you say gubernatorial, I look it up, you say something that's going to piss half of America off, and so, but they don't hear it because they went to look up gubernatorial. And then when the shit pops off and everyone's trans now, they're like, well, we told you everyone's trans now, right after we said gubernatorial. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's where I'm at, dude. So then you search Goober National and it's like ChatGPT is like, did you mean gubernatorial? Because everyone's looking that up right now. And it's actually a part of a Fox conspiracy, which I'm sure they all do conspiracies, dude. That's not a right thing. Anyway, dude, everyone's trans now. And or whatever. It's your podcast now, dude. You make the joke. By the way, gubernatorial just means relating to a governor or the office of a governor. So just say that. That was entirely too long on gubernatorial. And I don't apologize, but maybe I should. If you think I should, then I did. I had a good time in North Carolina, though, for Christmas, and we just kind of hung around the house. It's an acre and a half. which they bought for $12 and a chicken, and it's nice. We shot guns with a guy whose name I shouldn't say, but we did shoot guns with a whole lot of Confederate flags around on his land, dude. And but that's just kind of where we were geographically, so you got to get past that. It took a second, but guns are fun. And yeah, which is the reason why I think a lot of people vote right. It's like, I don't agree with a lot of this stuff, but guns are fun, dude. And a lot of people don't need to think any further than that. And that's fine. That's what they're, I guess. I don't know. But our mom crocheted us, me and my brother Daniel, some fly-ass blankets, dude. Some big fuckers, too. Right? She crocheted with her hands 2 blankets for her 2 grown sons. And I'm like, dude, mom of the year, let's go. I think she said they took 40 hours each, which is half the time that I thought she was going to say, but that just means she's a fly-ass crocheter. I was going to say bitch, but can't say that. Even though she is. I'm not saying that, Mom. Yeah. So that was cool. We kind of hung around. Didn't do a whole lot because there's not a whole lot to do, but that's fine. I was prepared for that, and I just wanted to see my mom and their dog and Mike and my grandma, dude. Oh, God. She's getting old. Everyone's getting old. But she's still walking around, and she's like 106, honestly. You're looking good, Grandma. Don't listen to this podcast. Dude, my brother took me into the Amex lounge because we ended up on the same flight back to LAX before he had an 8-hour layover before a 6-hour flight to Hawaii where he's stationed. And then he worked like 3 hours after he got back. That's unreal. But he took me into the Amex lounge and I got absolutely plastered. I got just above regular drunk, but I got onto an airplane after, and somehow I didn't factor in the airplane. I was fine because I'm a grown adult and I control my body, but there was free food, and not just free food, dude. They had steak and potatoes and fucking, quiche and cookies and shit and free drinks. And not just like pre-packaged seltzers and shit. Like all the drinks, whatever drink you want. And I was like, I asked my brother, I was like, mixed drinks? And he was like, yeah, mixed drinks. All the drinks. And I was like, not all the drinks. And he goes, all the drinks. And I was like, it's probably just some of the drinks. And then we get there and they're like, yeah, all the drinks. And so I had 2 beers while we were waiting. I had 3 glasses of red wine and 2 old fashions. Now, too much. But that's what happens when you're half Filipino, dude. I guess you overindulge on the free shit. The bathroom doors in this Amex lounge, right, go from the floor to the ceiling. All of them. They go from the floor to the ceiling. Which, like, why aren't all stalls made that way? Right? Why do you have to pay $895 a year for a credit card that you have to spend a dollar amount on to get it to where people can't see your feet when you poop? Stalls everywhere should be so that you can't see people's shoes. Because when you see some bright-ass orange Asics in a stall, right? I don't have those. This isn't about me. But then you see some bright-ass orange Asics in the place where you're at, you can go to your friends, hey, hey, that guy just took a poop. It was a long one, too. Or a quick one, and he didn't wash his hands, right? When you make a bathroom and the door is 4 feet tall, you give the general public that power when you save $80 per door in material. Anyway, dude, they were nice and worth it. I ate 3 cookies on the flight, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I don't eat cookies, especially not chocolate chip. I don't eat a cookie unless it's oatmeal all the way. With raisins, yes. Right? Usually I'm Mr. Get Out My Face with chocolate chip cookies, dude, but I'm also half Filipino. So I took half the amount of a full Filipino, which is 6. Right? So I took 6. Full Filipinos take 12, but I took 6. And I know I said I ate 3 on the flight, which I did, but I also dropped the other 3 all over the aisle floor, which I found out when I woke up and wanted 3 more cookies, and then they were dust on the ground. Oops. What else can I bitch about, dude? The captain said that it would take... Dude, fucking airplanes, man. The captain said that it would take 5.5 hours, which is fine, instead of the 4 that it took to get there because of headwinds. And it's like, dude, my thing is, why can't we just fly at like 2,000 feet? There might be buildings that are 2,000 feet, but just go around them. How many headwinds are there at 2,000 feet that are worse than 30,000 feet, right? I bet if you flew at 2,000 feet, people would just be... Well, no, they wouldn't pick stuff up. I'm not sure. I don't know, dude. I was going to say physician. I'm not a physicist or a pilot, but let's fly at 2,000 feet from now on, right? But the thing about this that I honestly think is if we crash, we crash. It doesn't matter from how high. People die. We literally explode if a plane crashes into you or if you're in it. So people on the flight and people just in a Mervyn's, I think that's what, they're going to die anyway. Let's get there faster. Let's either get back to LAX faster or let's die faster because there's no time to prep at 2,000 feet. Let's cut all that drama down, dude. We get to North Carolina from LAX in 49 minutes that way. And if we crash, then it's worth the 5 hours that everyone would have saved, I think. Fucking make me president of something, for fuck's sake. Maybe that's me, dude. Maybe that's just me. Call me old-fashioned. Call me 3 old fashions. Here's something, dude. As you can see, your boy finally got his first proper writing chair / podcasting chair. And it's a beautiful chair. It's $800. But I got it for 2. But the most interesting thing about the chair, besides it helps my back feel better, is that I already lost a book back there. And I did pull it back out, but not before pulling back out another book that's written completely in cursive Spanish. And so I figure I'm going to learn Spanish in this chair so that I can read it. But I'm pretty excited because I didn't realize how new the chair was until I looked in the crease, right? Where all the like nickels and dimes and cups of coffee disappear into. And it is as clean as a whistle, this chair. A virgin whistle, this chair is. So, I'm excited, man. I also got an arm, a podcast arm. I'm waiting on another thing, but it's not here yet. So, also, I just had to get my fingerprints done for a job, and I don't have a record, but I'm always a little worried. Do you know what I mean? that they're going to come back with something, you know? Like they'll send the request through to DOJ and then DOJ gets it. Then they're like, yeah, send it to FBI. And then FBI gets the request and the FBI is like, oh, yeah, we've been looking for this guy. He used to steal license plates off of cop cars. Which is true. With Ruben. Rest in peace. And now I'm sad. He wouldn't want me to be sad, though. He'd want me to... Whatever. I hate that I just said that. He wouldn't want me to be sad. How do I fucking... You know, I guess I knew him, but he'd want me to be a little sad. When people say that, dude, he wouldn't want me to... How do you know? Right? If he's still around... In a spiritual sense, how do you know he wouldn't want you to be sad for a little bit? He wouldn't want me to cry. Maybe. Sometimes you know the person that passed away and the one that they're talking about, and you're like, dude, he would want you to jump into traffic right now because you remembered him. He was a vagrant for attention, that guy. Not Ruben, but the one that you're thinking about, maybe. She's lonely up there, down there. She would want me to smile. She would want you to cut yourself a lot. At this job interview. Right? Dude, when my grandmother dies, every time I think of her, she's going to want me to do something that takes entirely too much time. Like bake a cake and fucking weep into the bowl. Bake a cake and eat it in my name. And it's like, well, I was getting hungry. And she's like, well, don't eat it yet then. That's my grandma. I'm not going to say which grandma. It's none of my grandmas, but they'd want me to be a little sad, right? They'd be looking down like, this kid's just going to remember my name and then not be sad. Anyway, my background check came back almost as clean as my chair. So I guess I can start another job I don't want again. That's exciting. A couple more things and then I'll get off because I just got a call before this and my dry cleaners are going to throw away my pants if I don't go pick them up soon. Right. Which is a fair policy. I've had to like 2 weeks to pick them up, so. But they also, they charge like $86 to deliver. And I'm just not in a position to pay what they're worth for them to come and like throw them on my doorstep. So. I forgot what I was going to say already. Damn it. Son of a bitch. I'm on Abilify now, and it's messed with my memory a little bit, but for goodness sake, has it helped with my OCD? I think it just made me forget that I'm OCD. Right? I'm not counting syllables and like blinking a lot when I pass things in my periphery and like memorizing license plates and stuff as much. Right? And dude, Abilify is amazing because it's crazy that it's been that way my entire life. I've done that my entire, not even adult, like since 5. And I'm still doing it, but it's a fraction of what it used to be. And I'm realizing now how tired it made me to be like doing that stuff because it takes energy to do that. And I wasn't just doing that. It was over and over. It was compulsive. I remember, dude, I was 5 years old. And I know that I was 5 because I remember doing it at my 5th grade or my 5th birthday party. We went bowling, right? at John's Incredible Pizza, and I was counting the number of syllables of certain things in the room and like listening to people talk and then counting those syllables. And I was spelling the sounds of those syllables. So for instance, table, right? You got 2 syllables, and then you spell the letters, right? So like table, T-E-E-A-E-B-E-E-E-L-E-E. Who the fuck told me to do that? Table, birthday, bowling, pin. I'm doing it for all these things. And maybe it's because I'm stressed out, but... And I'm sitting in the corner doing this, and I just start crying. Because I'm a little bitch. And my parents come up to me, and they're like, what are you doing? What's going on with our kid? This is John's Incredible Pizza. It's like Disneyland of Bakersfield. But with go-karts, so it's better. Stop crying. But the overwhelm was real, man. And it's like not as real now, but it's, you know, it's less real. I'm still doing it, but Christ in the kitchen, has it helped? So if you're doing that type of shit, you know, if you're blinking at objects as they pass your periphery, and if you don't do it right, people are going to die. If you get it wrong, right? SSRIs coupled with Abilify might help. That's all I'm saying. Welcome to the Abilify podcast. Try it, dude. If you want. I don't know. If your doctor says. Because you've probably got some other shit that your brain can do, right? When it's not doing all that stuff. It's probably got some other tricks up its sleeve, and you might not realize it. You might just think that your brain is broken and you're fucking dumb. Like I still do. And because there's a crazy person in your head, right? And you can't kill him, but you can stick him in the corner and turn his microphone down a little bit. Right? So, this podcast is brought to you by Abilify, dude. And Goober Nation. Let's take some calls. We don't take calls. But if you want to email my ass, fucking do it. thespamandexpodcast@gmail.com. Last thing, dude. And then I'll jump off, actually, and then go get my dry cleaning. I watched the Elvis movie, the Priscilla movie. Priscilla is what it's called. And that movie's weird, man, because I didn't realize that maybe he wasn't, but maybe he was. Elvis was like, maybe he was on Abilify, dude. But he was like mad, what's it called? Bipolar on that shit. Whatever he was on. That guy was popping pills, son. Like he would just like gaslight the fuck out of Priscilla. But anyway, I watched it and it was good, I guess. And then and then I get on Instagram and I see a thread about Elvis and Priscilla, and they're talking about how he was like a groomer and all this stuff, which maybe, I mean, probably, dude, you know, she was 15 when they met. I don't remember how old he was, but he wasn't 15. And there was this girl who was talking about it, and she just said, you know, Elvis met Priscilla when she was 15 and he was however old, which is concerning. And it's like, is it? I mean, it is, but are you concerned? You're concerned, dude? They got married like 60 years ago. You're concerned? You fucking idiot. Sorry, that was a lot. Maybe she's not an idiot, but maybe she is, dude. Maybe she is. Paul Walker, I saw. And then everyone just started like posting pictures of people who, mostly men, all men, who were like fucking around with kids, right? Paul Walker. There's a picture of him and a girl 16, and it's like, okay, well that was not 60 years ago. Who's the guy who talks like this? Who's the guy who talks like this? Batman. Fucking, I don't know, white guy. Still alive, I think. Anyway, people fuck kids, and you shouldn't do that. Is that how we leave? It's true, but it's dark. But I'm also on the right side of it. So yeah, dude. Anyway, man, life's weird. Go check out some shows, dude. I got a couple at Flappers as of late. I was up at Flappers like a month ago a few times. I got Flappers January 12th, January 16th, 7:30, and then 9 p.m. I got Flashback Studios on the 18th, 7 p.m. And then we've got our own show, Trainwreck Comedy, on the 18th at 7:45. So how do I make it to my own show? We'll see. Come and see that, dude. Tell your friends about the fucking podcast, dude. Watch it on the shit. And if you get this far, either way, thank you. If you're just listening, that's what's up. Hopefully this was good, and hopefully you are good. Check out Abilify. Thanks, man.